A big change is sweeping through Lansing that could bring a stop to illegal scrapping in Detroit. Thanks to the community putting pressure on lawmakers, 7 Action News has learned a new law could be passed as early as this week. 7 Action News reporter Simon Chiquette joins us now in the studio. And Simon, what changes lawmakers been talking about here?
Yes, Stephen, several of our investigations have highlighted the immediate need for change. Now the tide is turning in Lansing against scrap metal thieves and the shady businesses who buy from them.
For Pastor Keith Hill, the battle against scrappers is now officially mind-boggling. It was bad enough that criminals stripped the old school he wanted to transform into a community center. Now what he can't understand is why a bill that could stop illegal scrapping is being tied up in the Michigan State Legislature.
I hope that the message is heard in Lansing, hope it's heard downtown. I hope that they understand the urgency of them putting some teeth to this law so that the people, the community can heal.
You first met Pastor Hill last week on Action News when he gave our cameras a tour of his demolished dream in the Brightmoor section of Detroit. Since our report last week, there's been a groundswell of support to pass a bill in Lansing that essentially eliminates on-the-spot cash transactions for 3 major items that are most commonly stolen: catalytic converters, copper wiring, and air conditioning units.
The scrappers, right? They are tearing this city apart.
From Mayor Mike Duggan lobbying in Lansing to leaders in law enforcement calling press conferences demanding action out of the state capitol.
This is a huge issue, and as a community, we can't afford to wait much longer.
No, right off the bat, reducing the thief's ability to get that instant cash is key no matter what piece of legislation comes through.
But there have been those resistant to some of this crucial legislation being proposed, among them members of the Michigan State Senate.
If they want me to go to Lansing, I'd be glad to go up there and tell them they need to come here and see the damage that is done.
One important key member is State Senator Mike Kowal from White Lake. In our first interview, he said he was opposed to a 3-day hold on payment for the 3 most commonly stolen items.
Don't you see value in a 3-day hold?
The 3-day delayed payment, they would have to bring in extra personnel, hire more people just to handle that.
But now it appears the senator is changing his tune, facing tough questions from our own Carolyn Clifford.
You are saying that you are, as Senator Kowal, in favor of the 3 items.
I'm in favor of what we call the trifecta. It's a 3-day hold on payment, but now we're going to mail the checks as opposed to cash. The payment would be mailed to an address. That gives an additional paper chase for law enforcement to go after the bad guys.
So you agree with that?
Oh, yeah.
So then why is the bill being held up?
It's right now, as far as I was concerned, it was just being held up because there was a lot of technical changes that had to be made.
So what about all the gridlock? Senators who said no the first time.
Are there any other senators who you've spoken to who will vote this down and won't agree with this?
I haven't spoken to anybody yet that says that they're going to vote no on it. And when we go back in on Tuesday, I'm hoping that we get the bill back from the House so we can concur with it and get it signed into law.
One more time for the record.
You believe the Senate and the House will come together, send this to the governor, and this will be passed?
Yes, I do.
And you can bet we're going to be all over what happens in Lansing tomorrow and keep you updated. We will stay with this until a bill is passed and signed by the governor. Carolyn and Stephen.
So why the big momentum shift? I mean, is it the community pounding them? Or?
Absolutely, yes. There are a lot of scrap yards that support this, and it cuts off money to those who are breaking the law. This is a no-brainer for our community. Like the mayor says, it is essential in bringing Detroit back.
And you're going to hold them accountable.
Absolutely.
Tomorrow. Okay.
Otherwise, you'll be calling Senator Kowal, too, just to check.
Well, he said it. I mean, he said
heard
he'll
him.
make it
He is.
happen.
He's on the record.
He's on the record.
All right,
We'll hold
thank
him
you
to
both.
it.